In this podcast episode, Dr. Price Pritchett shares powerful wisdom on how anyone can initiate transformative change and manifest the life they desire by taking immediate, decisive action. The conversation delves deep into the psychology behind goal setting, the importance of mindset, and the subtle yet profound role luck plays in achieving breakthroughs. A compelling message echoed throughout the discussion is the urgency of beginning now with complete commitment. Price emphasizes that life-changing growth isn't achieved by tentative steps, but requires a willingness to burn your bridges, to go all in without harboring excuses or exceptions. Drawing inspiration from the legendary American psychologist William James, he reminds us of three cardinal rules for change. Start immediately, take bold and flamboyant action, and allow no exceptions. These principles serve as the foundation for what he calls quantum leaps, rapid, substantial advancements that stretch us beyond incremental improvements. Price stresses that fast growth is not a gradual process. Instead, it requires choosing an ambitious aiming point, a goal that genuinely ignites passion and even fear, something deeply meaningful, not planted by societal expectations or superficial desires. This heartfelt commitment dictates the whole journey and attracts the energy, creativity, and resources necessary for swift transformation. One of the biggest mistakes Price highlights is the tendency of individuals to keep goals vague and uncommitted, often carrying them mentally without writing them down. He cites research by psychologist Gail Matthews showing that simply writing a goal increases the likelihood of success by 43%. Writing creates clarity and concreteness that mental abstractions lack. It turns intention into reality by forcing us to clarify exactly what we want and how we plan to achieve it. Another frequent trap is the limitation people place on their aspirations by focusing on what the world will permit rather than what they truly desire and are willing to pursue. This mentality imposes self-limiting boundaries that stifle potential. Instead of framing ambitions based on external conditions or ease, Price urges choosing goals that scare and excite us, the kind that require us to step into unknown territory, embrace ambiguity, and get comfortable with failure. Incremental goals are easier, but don't produce transformational change. When people pick safer, smaller goals, they essentially aim too low, undermining their own potential. Price argues that a true quantum leap inherently involves uncertainty and risk, and that not only is failure inevitable, it is essential. Reframing failure as an integral part of success, rather than a mark of personal deficiency, is key to unlocking our full capabilities. An inspiring metaphor appears throughout the conversation: the baby learning to walk. Babies fall repeatedly without embarrassment or discouragement. They view failure simply as, "it didn't work," and persist until they succeed. Adults, unfortunately, often lose this natural resilience, burdened by fear of humiliation, judgment, or loss, which paralyzes their action. Price and the host both agree that relearning this kind of mindset, treating failure as a coaching tool, is critical. Developing mental discipline becomes essential to manage the incessant internal critic that tends toward negativity. Emotional resilience grows from surrounding ourselves with supportive people, mentors and peers who encourage rather than shame, as well as cultivating an optimistic internal dialogue. This mental work parallels physical training, requiring daily practice to condition our thoughts and reactions. The podcast also touches on fascinating research regarding positive versus negative thinking. Contrary to popular belief, reducing negative thoughts yields more benefit than merely increasing positive ones. Chronic negativity damages both physical health and energy, reducing overall performance and well-being. Hence, mindfulness around mental patterns and embracing gratitude daily serve as powerful antidotes to pessimism. Price shares an important insight about why many hesitate to pursue their most ambitious dreams: the belief that doing so would be selfish or impractical due to the sacrifices involved. Big goals demand prioritization, reallocation of time and energy, and often letting go of comfort zones. This internal permission is often the missing piece holding people back, compounded by their underestimation of their own potential. For those who take the leap, the process is far from smooth. Obstacles and setbacks are inevitable. The deep emotional investment in one's goal is the fuel that allows individuals to endure painful moments and keep moving. Paradoxically, a life too comfortable and balanced can stunt growth, as friction and challenge are catalysts for development, echoing philosophies from Nicholas Taleb's anti-fragile concept about thriving through adversity. While hard work, effort, and talent are vital, Price emphasizes the often underappreciated factor of luck. Research synthesizing behavioral economics and psychology suggests that luck accounts for 30 to 50% of career success, arguably the largest influence. However, rather than viewing luck as random chance, Price explains that we can actively cultivate conditions for luck to occur. Telling luck what you want by clearly defining and expressing your goals, maintaining optimism that allows you to recognize and act on opportunities, and being socially engaged to maximize weak ties where serendipitous encounters arise are key strategies. Furthermore, creating space for intuition and subconscious insights through meditative rituals or mindful moments each day allows the brain to generate novel connections, another form of engineered luck. Importantly, serving others without expecting return boosts positivity and openness, creating reciprocal successes that attract further luck. Conversely, a victim mindset or self-pity creates bad luck, cutting off opportunities before they can materialize. Price distills his decades of learning into a simple yet powerful framework for breakthrough success. The fundamental components include, first, selecting a compelling aiming point; second, practicing relentless pursuit with consistent effort and persistence; third, conducting necessary mind work that involves disciplined positive thinking and mental rituals; and fourth, rigorously tracking progress to stay honest and informed. This minimalist approach cuts through the noise and complexity of typical advice by focusing on the 5% of actions and mindset shifts that produce 95% of results. He cautions against overcomplicating the process or searching endlessly for the perfect conditions. Instead, trusting the method and committing to consistent action is what propels people beyond stasis toward their greatest potential. Success is not an accident, and waiting for all uncertainties to vanish often becomes an excuse for inaction. One of the most significant psychological barriers remains self-doubt, which silently sabotages risk-taking and opportunity seizing. Price strongly advises building belief in oneself by continually pushing beyond comfort zones and learning from failure. This process isn't reserved for the innately talented or intelligent. It's about stacking small successes and gaining confidence through action. Ignorance of the unknown can become freedom when paired with courage and willingness to explore. Self-belief, as Price shares, is arguably the cornerstone of all breakthrough achievement and is more crucial than the finest technology or knowledge available. It fuels optimism, resilience, and the capacity to keep pursuing quantum leaps in personal and professional growth. When people give up on their dreams prematurely, they diminish their own sense of identity and potential. The podcast explores the delicate question of when quitting is appropriate and when it signifies surrender rather than strategic redirection. If passion fades completely, enjoyment is lost, and all avenues are exhausted without love for the pursuit, moving on may be prudent. However, regret often stems from stopping too soon due to fear or impatience. The greatest fulfillment comes from wholehearted pursuit, acknowledging inevitable setbacks along the way, but keeping eyes fixed on the vision.